Hello, 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 Raptor fans. It is your boy Mike, and we're gonna talk about the Raptors. It's my weekly Raptors conversation. Coming off a very, very interesting loss against the Atlanta Hawks. I made a TikTok, so I hope everyone can check that out. Thoseguyssports. It's on TikTok. Where I kind of discussed, it was a quick reaction to everything. There's a few topics that I want to talk about in regards to our beloved Toronto Raptors. But that loss yesterday was tough. It was a very tough loss. And I'm gonna dive into it. But before I even dive into the Toronto Raptors loss against Atlanta, make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys subscribe. Follow on all platforms. And let's keep the ball rolling. I had a few topics that I want to talk about. Talk about Thad, my love for Thad, which I think like every Raptor fan is in love with Thad Young right now, just because what he can do for this team and how he helps this team and how he can help the young guys is so unmatched. Like the last time we had a guy like this was Marcus Gasol, and it was so like it's so needed to have vets. Like I've always said, it's always needed to have veterans on the squad. It helps the young guys. It helps themselves. It's just a good thing. I love seeing it. It's great. Now in saying all this, and saying on how I feel, still pretty hurt about it all. I'm just gonna probably go on a hopefully just a 5 minute spiel about that Atlanta game. Hopefully I don't take too long. My video on TikTok was about like 3 minutes. I hope I don't go too long about this. That we were without Pascal. Let me start there. We're without Pascal, of course. Still hurt. We should hear back from what's going on soon. We're without Gary Trent, another starter, a guy who not anymore, but at one point was averaging 20 points. And when Pascal was on, I think Gary was the second best player. There's no doubt about it at the time, or I'll say second best, more efficient scorer at the time. Chris Boucher, who has been really good all season. I think he probably had one kind of 1.5 like bad games this season. Other than that, Chris Boucher's been actually pretty good. I feel like his rebound should be a lot more. I think he's averaging about 12 and 6. I feel like that should. I don't know. I saw a couple double doubles, but sometimes he's had lower rebounds, which is fine. In saying all this, like I said, we're without Pascal, Gary, Boucher being a sixth man. We were without Precious, our seventh guy. We were without Delano Banton, who just scored 27 points. Just came off a game scoring 27 points against Miami Heat. And we didn't have him either. And Donald, arguably our 9th, 10th guy. Our starting unit for yesterday's game was Fred, OG, Scotty, Wancho, and Thad Young. Wancho being the person we honestly didn't think. I don't think we all thought that he was gonna make the rotation. I don't think we generally thought, but he has. He actually wasn't bad last game. Him and Thad really helped, really helped them throughout the game, especially in the beginning of the game. I would say those two were huge contributors to the game overall. So in saying all the people we missed, when this game started, when I saw who was playing, I'm like, this will be it. The Raptors should lose this game. Why should they lose this game? Because everyone has told me that the Atlanta Hawks are better than the Toronto Raptors. I understand the Atlanta Hawks schedule. I understand the Atlanta Hawks have actually beaten Milwaukee. I believe it's twice they beat Milwaukee. Like I understand that Atlanta has beaten a good team in Milwaukee, but I also understand Atlanta's first few games against Charlotte and Washington and like teams that they were supposed to beat. I understand that the division isn't the greatest. The only competition being Miami. I know Washington's having a good season so far, but I think it's a lot to do with the league right now, which please check out the videos that I'm gonna post out this week about what I like and what I don't like about the NBA. And spoiler alert, one thing I like is teams like Washington. I should say teams like Washington. But with all these guys out, I'm thinking to myself, the Raptors are going to lose this game, and we're probably going to lose by 15, 20. Because Trae Young, he scored 30, even though, honestly speaking, some would say I'm a Trae Young hater, which I don't disagree. I probably am. But I didn't honestly remember him do that much. I remember him doing more damage in the fourth quarter. You know, he had a big three, he had a big floater, and of course the last play of the game. No, saying all that, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? This team is gonna be okay. Like, you know, this Atlanta team's gonna beat Toronto, and it's gonna be okay that they beat Toronto because they're short-handed. Toronto was pretty much up. You know, the first quarter was looking kind of funny, and then Scotty hit that three, which ended up, you know, making them to have the lead. Then the second quarter was good. The third quarter was good, but Atlanta kept like fighting. They kept fighting at the end, but then Toronto kept winning at the end. Every time Atlanta fought, Toronto kept fighting back, and it was good. The fourth quarter happened. They were down by like 7 with like, 3 to 5 minutes to go. And Atlanta just came, tied the game. It is what it is. Scotty missed a layup. Now, a lot of us can argue with, he normally dunks it. He should have dunked it. Why didn't he dunk it? Honestly, sometimes a dunk and a layup could be the same percentage. If not contested, it's the same percentage, pretty much. It's easy. Like, it's nothing. It would have been nothing. Sometimes the ball just doesn't go down. So it's okay. Like, I can arguably forgive it, right? And what to me makes that game frustrating is the fact that we were winning. So I felt that we were close. And then being close and then losing like the way we lost sucks even more. Even in overtime, I'm like, okay, we're going to lose by like 5 or 6 here. Because Atlanta's like, hey, like, right now we're more talented than this team. Right? And then for us to be so close, tie the game with OG's clutch free throws. Clutch free throws. Now we can talk about the last play. Before I even dive into the more frustration with Atlanta. The last play, everyone wants to point fingers on who did it. Whose fault is it? I don't want to point fingers too much. Some people are saying it's Scotty's fault. Why did Scotty pretty much leave him? I kind of think it's, I don't say I think it was OG's, but OG was close because Trae Young moved past everyone, past Koloko, and his next defender was OG technically. And I know if we had him shoot the three, we could have lost 2 because he's a good 3-point shooter. Arguably would have taken that chance a little bit more than anything else. I would have taken that chance. I think it's unfortunate. AJ Griffin, shoutouts to him. Or AJ Griffin Jr. Shoutouts to him. Right in front of his dad. His dad had a proud moment and an angry moment at the same time. But shout out to him. Good job by you. Legit, good job by you. So, congratulations to him and the family. And the way he put it, Adrian Griffin's still proud of his son. It's still his son. It's his son before he's an assistant coach. So, arguably, he's probably more happy. You know? Maybe I would too. It's my son. Go to game-winning shot. I'm probably happy about it. But the play within itself, people are trying to point fingers. I thought potentially it was OG's fault. I thought OG should have stayed with Adrian and let him just shoot the shot and see what happened. Some people are like, no, you got to watch for everyone. I agree. I think, you know, with the way they're playing, you probably play like a 3-2. We have 2 guys near the basket and you have 3 guys just kind of potentially trying to collapse or anything like that. It just didn't work out that way. Trey's really fast. And they're doing a pretty good job of like shielding Trey for not touching the ball. But it happened. It honestly happened. Trey Trey was fast as hell. Toronto collapsed, and there's a man open right there for like an easy layup. Which even his shot could have been missed. It was almost like a lucky shot in that sense because I'm pretty sure he scored that in midair. right? Like midair, he shot that. Um, so that could have been like a bunch of pressure on him, but he good on him. He's a rookie, a rookie, man. And yeah, yeah. I think all in all, Raptor fans, I just did not like the thought of losing to Atlanta. I did not want to lose to Atlanta. Seeing Trae Young, I'm just not a big fan of Trae Young. There's certain players I'm just not a fan of. I look at Trae Young and I don't think he makes like winning plays. I was actually driving. This is a quick side note. I was driving and thinking about ball because all I really do is think about sports. So as I'm driving, I'm thinking to myself the type of players I like, some of the players I don't really like. I may not be a fan of microwave scores like who start. Like I like 6 man of the year, like a Jordan Clarkson, a Jamal Crawford, things like that. But if they were starting, I wouldn't be the biggest fans of them because I find that they are only effective when they touch the ball, right? Like they don't do much else. Like the reason why someone like Steph Curry is loved the way he's loved is because of the fact that he moves without the ball. He's not just watching every freaking play. Like I hate that. I like guys who like arguably make the team around them better. Atlanta made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. People still talk about it, right? But I feel like no one talks about the fact that DeMar or Kyle did it. Maybe as a Raptor fan, I'm just being biased here, but no one talks about that shit. Okay, I guess not. Like we keep harping on that, and all I can think to myself is like, that was the year after the bubble, and quite frankly, I said it before. Every team that made it far that year didn't make it far the previous year. No team, the top four teams of the bubble year, I think they all got eliminated within the first round, right? Because fatigue hit. A lot of teams just weren't good last year. They weren't good. So it's crazy to me, right? But yeah, this I don't want to lose to Atlanta. I don't want to lose to Trae Young. Watching Trae Young wave at an empty bench is weird to me. Wave at the assistant coaches, waving at Earl Watson is weird. Adrian Griffin, like that's just what is going on. What's going on? I don't know. I didn't. The loss sucked. It mentally drained me. I was running around on the couch. I was freaking out. I was like, cause we were so close. And like I said, I didn't even expect to win. I wrote that like I was writing that we were about to lose anyway. But then like being so close and the way we lost, and like I said, I don't want to lose to Atlanta. I don't like losing to Atlanta at all. But then I keep thinking to myself, I hope someone doesn't look at this game and go like, "Oh, Atlanta beat Toronto. Atlanta is not thus better than Toronto." When Toronto didn't have their main players, like, and we didn't even talk about like the stat lines. Okay, OG was really good. Like I said, Thad and Juancho were good. Koloko was really good. Um, Scotty was good. Like everyone was good. You know who wasn't good last game? You know who wasn't good? Fred VanVleet. You can watch him and you're thinking, oh, he's tired. He shot 1 of 11. No, that's not Fred. Fred is not 1 of 11. We know that. He's just I think he just came up from being sick. You can tell the man is still going through it. Whatever he had, the sickness he had. They said it's not COVID, but whatever sickness he had, like, damn. I was like, whoa, like he's like sick. Like there's something off. There has to be because he's 1 of 11. That's not Fred. That's not Fred. He just wasn't. He wasn't great. Fred wasn't great. We think we can all see that. Fred definitely wasn't great. And the Raptors were missing Otto Porter, arguably their like eighth guy. So like they were missing their number one guy, their number like 3, 4 guy, or let's say number 5. So number 1, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, and then potentially number 9 in Banton. Come on, that's 6 guys they're missing. So I know Toronto's better than Atlanta. I just know it. Like I know it. Like I'm so confident that they're better than Atlanta because as much as they want to believe that Hunter is gonna stop Pascal. Okay, well if Pascal's playing, that leaves OG open more. That leaves Scotty open more. Scotty shot 29 times. We all wanted him to be aggressive, and he was. He was 4 of 8 in the 3-point line. 4 of 8 for Scotty Barnes. Pretty good. Not pretty good. That's amazing. Okay, 50% shooting the three is amazing. Had 28 points, like almost had a triple double. Now, if you add an All NBA All Star player in Pascal, this team is better. For some reason, I still listen to this one podcast. Sometimes I just like the arguments. I guess I like the toxicity of the podcast. And someone had said that um, DeAndre Hunter is better than OG. I'm thinking to myself, in what city? Like where? What country? Or what NBA is he better than OG? People are talking about OG the defensive player of the year. What do we like? This guy's not. DeAndre Hunter's not being spoken about. He's a good defender, but like, come on, guys, let's not there. And we're all talking about the progression of OG since Pascal's been gone. OG's been stepping up. I'm pretty sure he's averaging above 25 points a game. He's been doing a lot. To move on past this game, to kind of put this game in the coffin. Shitty ending. Like, very shitty ending. It sucks the way we ended. It wasn't fun. Hopefully things will get better. It wasn't great. It was sucky. It was shitty. Losing to Atlanta sucks. I truly think we're better than this team. But that's what happens. That's the NBA. It doesn't always fall to your corner. It doesn't always. Just not the way it is. Just not. But they'll be fine once everyone comes back healthy. Or honestly, if they just get if they just get Pascal back, I think that would help them a lot. Obviously, Pascal being a player would, but damn, man, this team is 4-4 without him. 4-4, which honestly, that's fine. 4-4 without your best player is not bad at all. Especially if you're not like a team honestly, most teams is pretty good. 4-4, Giannis, Embiid, when they don't have those guys, their teams are not good. So being 500 it's fair. It's definitely fair. Now, in talking about everything, the guy who I mentioned before was Thad Young. I love Thad Young. I don't think you'll meet a Raptor fan who doesn't love Thad Young. He's like everything. Is that weird to say? Thad Young is like everything. He's just so good. Everything he does. You can tell he has winning plays, and he's a hard worker. He's just I don't think Raptor fans you're not gonna hear us say anything bad about Thad Young. We were all praying for Thad Young minutes in the beginning of the season. I felt like I knew the reason why he wasn't getting minutes. You want to get a Cloku out. You want to get certain guys to play. So you tell Thad, hey, your time is coming. Give it a second. I just hope Thad is also happy too. I don't want Thad you hear that Thad wasn't happy with his role in the beginning of the season. You're like, come on, Thad, just don't be mad, Thad. I need you. I'm not trading Thad. He's one of those people who would play 12 to 15 minutes in a playoff game, and those 12-15 minutes are going to be freaking awesome minutes. The way he navigates a cut, the way he himself moves, he always finds the smallest edge of smallest corners, the smallest space for him to pass the ball or catch the ball. He's honestly obviously he's like a Marcus Gasol and Kyle Lowry had in the middle height, ability to make others better. That's Thad Young. I think Thad Young is honestly great. I have nothing bad to say about Thad Young, and I probably won't all season. I won't say anything bad about that. I probably will, but I love that on this team. Man, legit makes everyone better. Legit makes every single player better. He's the best. When they're having if a team tries to zone them, you want that on. Put that in the middle. That's how you break a zone. Put a good player who can hit high quality shots around the rim. around there, and then he's good. Look at Thad's numbers of last game: 18 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals. Shooting 9 of 12, and 0 of 2 in 3 points. If you take away the 3 point line, the man was 9 of 10. I don't know. That Young is just phenomenal. One guy I didn't talk about in my rundown, or I didn't write down in my rundown, but I'll talk about him briefly. Malachi Flynn. I think when the trade deadline comes, I think certain players may not make it. I think because you hear the reports about Gary Trent and the Warriors, and I'm thinking like, hey man, if you're giving me Kaminga, which would be an incredibly dumb move on the Warriors side of things, in my opinion, to give up Kaminga, like a 6'8" guy who was a top 10 draft pick who can probably give you like with growth and development can score like 18 points a game. Hasn't played well this year. There's some limitations in his like motor, I would say. But if he's on the team like the Raptors, I think that would change him a lot. Um, so I think Gary's one. I think Malachi and Kem Birch are another. I think there's like a Kem Birch Malachi deal. People like to also add Thad Young because of the contract. Take Thad Young's name out your mouth. Do not. You cannot trade that. You can only trade that if you're getting like honestly, if you're getting another top 50 player, like 45 to 50 player. That's how good Thad Young is to me, and how he helps this team. Because Pascal's playing like a top 20, OG's playing a top 40, and Fred's still a top 50. Like, and Scotty's about to be top 50. Like, you still got a pretty good squad on you, so let's not freaking change the game too much. Once again, Fred is legit. Like, there's something going on. There's definitely something on last game. Something was going on for sure. But Malachi Flynn is when he has games like this, or the game against Atlanta, also showing why like he may get traded one time. When Malachi shoots, I generally think it's gonna score. I think it's such a pretty shot, so I always kind of believe that it's gonna go in. I think the problem with Toronto is that they have so much guys you want to see play. Malachi's giving you 17 points a game, or this game, like, further proves, like, man, I want him to play more. Wancho had a solid game last game, but he's one guy's probably going to be out the lineup eventually, right? Because you have your same starting five: Boucher, Precious, Otto, Thad. That's already 8 guys. Then Banton's been getting a lot more minutes, and then that's Flynn going 11, right? That's Flynn going 11. And the guy I'm about to mention just now, Kem Birch, hasn't really played a lot. And you still got Cole who's playing a lot more, and he's playing a lot better. And then some games you really, like last game, I thought I would have played Birch more than Koloko. But Koloko's size, he blocked a lot of, he like made it hard on Trae Young, right? Still scored 30, but made it harder on Trae Young, which is a good thing. Gave you 11 rebounds, tied for most on the team with Scotty. Like, he did a lot. He did a lot. I will attest to that, you know? And he played Clint Capella, the guy that, like, a lot of people said his game is kind of like, or he made, like, his, I wouldn't say his ceiling, but his floor could be probably Clint Capella, which is not a bad floor at all, okay? I think Toronto, if the situation was right, we would love to have a Clint Capella. Honestly, like, not gonna demand the ball a lot. He's gonna rebound and be dirty. Like, that's what's needed. I keep jumping back and down with Malachi Flynn. Overall, Malachi Flynn, when he's playing like this, it just further proves a lot of people want Malachi to play more. I wanted him to play more. Some games I want, like, I'm to me, I'm like, bring Malachi before you bring Banton. Malachi's ability to shoot is like needed. If he didn't have 6 personal fouls, like, I don't know how he even got all those ones, but if he didn't have 6 personal fouls, I would have wanted to obviously see him close out the game and see what he can do. He could have had like an open shot. Like, so much things could have happened. Like, I truly think Malachi had a really good game, his best of the season, and I wish that we would have saw that more. Yeah, I really think Malachi is going to be one of those people who we may not see at the end of the season because I you may try to trade like three guys for one. Maybe do like a big package of like Gary Trent, Flynn, and Birch. You get something like you get like a legit player, but I don't know who you're gonna get. I don't know who's in the market right now. There's no one really in the market that's like gonna help, right? Because you trade those three guys, you're losing a big, losing a backup point guard, your actual most true point guard besides Fred, and then losing a scorer and Gary. So like you need a scorer, like you almost need like an everyman that comes, right? So it would be a lot of, it'd be really hard work. Like if the Blazers weren't good this season, I'd be like, can that package get me Jeremy Grant? That would make Toronto crazy long. That would be a lineup of like OG, Jeremy Grant, Pascal, Scott. Like that'd be stupid long, right? But I'm thinking like, what's it gonna take to get like a Covington from the Clippers? What's it gonna take for that? Would a Malachi Birch get a Covington? I forgot Covington's contract, but would that get you a Covington? That'd be just another wing to help you against the Jason Tatum's, the Jalen Browns of the world. I don't know. Malachi's game last game made me think about trade options, but it also made me because I think I want to see Malachi play more. I like Malachi's game. The man can't doesn't score 70 points in a Drew League and cannot play. The man can play. He is a good defender. They attack him a lot because of height. It's like people attack Fred a lot because of height, but he's a good defender still. So I want to see more from Malachi, but it's all time permitted. That's all time permitted. Now this week, in their next games, they face Brooklyn on Wednesday, and then it's Dallas the next game. Now I'm saying that the Brooklyn one's Wednesday, so that's why another reason why this loss is so like, ugh, is because you don't play again until Wednesday. So it makes you feel like, ugh, what's going on? You're hoping to hear good news about Pascal. It's funny when it all happened. I looked at the schedule. And I'm like, oh, so more than likely Pascal, because he was out from November 4th. With the way the timelines are looking, he will probably be back for Dallas, if not Cleveland. But he'll be back if everything checks out right. It all depends on what it checks out to be. If everything checks out, then he'll be back, which is good, which is really good. Now, a player that I really want to get more minutes, and I think once again could be biased on me, is Ken Burns. And I know some people are gonna be like, "Why do you want Ken Burns? You just talked about this guy being traded." The thing with Ken Burns, it's a dumb stat line to say like, "Oh, every time he plays, they win." They didn't win this time, so it's not always the case. But the thing with Ken Burns, I just feel like last year, like he's almost still being punished for last year, where clearly he wasn't healthy. And when you see him play now, he moves around so much better. He's just all around just better now, right? Like he's significantly better than he was last year. And I don't feel like it's necessary to harp on what was the past when it comes to Ken Burch. When truthfully speaking, it's like I don't know. He wasn't. I think this year's been better. I think when he's been playing, I've seen him move around a lot more. I've seen him be healthy. I do think he seems a little bit more like annoyed for some reason. I don't know what's happened there. I don't really see the like when he first came in the Tampa season. I saw so much life in his game. Last season, you can tell the injuries were hurt or killing him, but like you saw a little bit more life. It's still so early in the season, so hopefully we still will get Ken Burch. I'm still of the makeup like if you ever start Ken Burch, I would never hate it. So then you do need a big. I think he's a good role guy. He has a nice little floater. Like these are things that I like about Ken Burch, and I would want to see more of him play. To be honest, I don't think he's a horrible defender by any means. His verticality is not like a Koloko who's like a legit shot blocker. But I would like we were shorthanded this Atlanta game, and clearly Nick Nurse like didn't care. He's like, I want to win, I want to win. And Kemp only played 4 minutes, and I'm thinking like, I understand Downton Jr. playing 4 minutes, but Kemp playing 4 minutes, I think we could have played him a little bit more, helped some of the guys out. That's just my thought process. That maybe we could have done this. But some people would disagree. But I would like to see Kemp play more. I really would. I think he isn't that bad. Honestly, some would call me crazy, but he's not that bad. So I would like to see Kemp play more. Once again, I'm probably the minority that feels this way. Definitely the minority that feels this way. Lastly, the last topic is Scotty Barnes. People have been like talking about him a lot about his game. The one thing with Scotty is, and I saw this last game against Atlanta, he had an amazing dunk, but then he then kind of has a hero ball to him. They got the, like, I think they got the rebound or got the steal. Then Scotty started backing a guy down and to shoot a jumper, and he airballed it. And I'm thinking to myself like, this is like my biggest problem when I watch Scotty. I find that one moment he'll have such a good play, then he'll go right back to doing something like, to me, like not smart. Like me, I'm like, no, that's not a good play. That's not a good play. You don't need me to tell you that's not a good play. That's just legit not a good play. And I'll see him do that, and it just, I question it. I'm like, why did you do that? What made you decide to make that play? I didn't agree with it. I don't agree with it. It's just a weird play. That's one thing I'm not a fan of. And the thing with Scotty, once again, shot really well on the last game. I don't care for the 11-29. 4 of 8 for 3 is what I actually like the most. I can care about 11-29. You had to be aggressive. It is what it is. Atlanta still has some good defenders. And the Kongu, Hunter's still a good defender. I'm about to say Trae Young, but DeJounte Murray, sorry, is a good defender. DeJounte Murray is a really good defender. So like they have good people, right? So it is what it is. But I must say, I really must say that this just Toronto team is good, and I think Scotty's emotions can dictate how he's going to be. If he's happy, I think this team has a lot of chances of winning. If he's like pouting or arguing with the ref, like that, I can see as problems. I can legit see those as problems. But I'm hoping they're not problems. I'm hoping we see a better version of Scotty, and I think we can. I think we definitely see a better version of Scotty. I think he's played well though. I think he's played well enough. Like, I'm not like knocking him at all. People have knocked him. He's still 21. He's still so young. He's gonna learn. He's not. The man's not even close to his prime yet. Like OG. Someone says OG's like a year away from his prime. Pascal's in his prime, but just got better. And Pascal's 28. Like things take its time. Only a few guys like a Luca, a Ja, um, someone say a Zion. Like other those guys, like Jason Tatum didn't start off this great his first 2 years. Jalen Brown did. A lot of guys didn't. They made it make the conference finals. It doesn't mean they freaking like blew people out the water. That didn't happen. Jason Tatum's probably having one of his best seasons so far, but it's not going to be his best. Like, that's the scary thing. It's scary hours. Like, that's it. So I wouldn't face too much of any Barnes backlash because I think he's played well enough. It's the second season. It's everyone else's fault for having the crazy amount of expectations that they had. But I do want to see his energy be consistent every single day. It's every single game. I think that's what determines how he plays when his energy's up. All in all, this week the Raptors have Brooklyn and Dallas. Let's say 1-1. Let's say 1-1 again. So they'll probably end up being 10-9. I'm hoping they'll be 11-8. That's 20 games. That's a 20 game mark. That's when we're really talking about the first 20 games. How is this team doing? What's expectations? Are you mad? Whatever. There's games against Oklahoma and Indiana. They thought they would have won. There's I don't know. The thing else that like really stands out. I know people talk about the Miami game, but other than that, the only ones are OKC, Indiana, and then that Brooklyn game, that second game, that Royce O'Neal shot was kind of shitty. But other than that, it was all good. All good. It makes sense. The record makes sense. It does. I thought they were going to go 1-1. I thought they were going to beat Atlanta because I didn't think about amount of guys that were leaving. I thought they probably would have lost to Miami. So lose to Miami and win to Atlanta, but that didn't happen that way. And that's just how the NBA works. It's not always what you expect. But make sure you guys like and subscribe, comment below. This was Raptors Weekly with your boy Mike. Check out the TikTok as well. I will talk to you guys very soon. What a week. And honestly, we barely had any games, and it still felt like craziness. Like, subscribe. I'll talk to you again.